They're playing the Korn Ferry Tour event this week in Utah. Now, they moved to a new site this year. They moved to Ogden Country Club. Why does that mean anything? I won the Utah Open there in 1974, and it was like a Korn Ferry Tour event at the time. And I was an amateur. I was in college, 20 years old, just turned 20 years old. I only played golf for 3 years, really, consistently. And all of a sudden, I win this tour, this basic tour event on this golf course. And it basically turned my career around, because at that time, I was playing golf in college because I needed a scholarship. I couldn't pay for school. And golf ended up being the sport that I took to college. So I'm watching these guys at Ogden Country Club, and I'm reliving me playing there. And I can tell you every shot I hit, especially the last day. I could tell you every iron I had. I could tell you every putt I had. You know, then I could tell you the second round. I could tell you part of the third round. Now, when watching Ogden Country Club, here's what's interesting. The guy that's leading, and a couple of them that are right up there, they're playing the country club, and they're saying, man, this golf course, it's only just over 7,000 yards, and at 3,500, 4,000 feet, that's pretty short for these guys. But there's a lot of dog legs, and it is a tricky golf course off the tee. And they're saying, boy, it's so hard. These guys are struggling hitting the fairways. You know, the leaders were hitting 6, 7, 8 at the most fairways in the first day. Well, my last two rounds, in 36 holes, I missed 3 fairways and 2 greens in 36 holes. That's playing with an old persimmon head and spinny golf balls. Same golf course. I mean, now the tees, there's a couple of holes a little longer. What's my point with that? It's about learning how to control the ball. I had so much control of the ball at that time. These guys now use technology to control it. And they just stand there and hit it as far as they can hit it. And if it's in the rough, they just get it up and down, or they try to. You know, but what's interesting is with that old spinny ball, I hit more fairways and more greens than these guys who have the new technology. I even looked at some of the clubs they're hitting into most of these greens. And they were maybe a club to maybe a club and a half less than me. But the clubs they're using now, the lies and lofts, the lofts aren't even close to what they used to be. And what they do with the weighting in them turns a 7-iron into a 5-iron. So it's just interesting for me to watch. And when I think back of why was I able to play so well, I had control of this club. This was my favorite club in my bag. I could do more with it. I could do as much with a driver probably as I could with a wedge at the time. A driver, I'd get up there, I was hitting cut shots and draws, hit them high, hit them low. And, you know, this club was just like this was a placement club. This was an artistic thing. And I'd sit there, I'd see a shot, I could feel what I was going to do, and boom, I'd stand up and hit it. I was better hitting shots with my driver than I was my wedge. I mean, my wedges, I just, you know, okay, I got to hit it X amount of distance. I choke up on it, make X, but it wasn't flight it, curve it, and do all that. This club, because the way those balls spun, you're not hitting it straight. And the fairways were the same narrow fairways. If the fairway dog-legged or tilted, I'd cut it into the fairway or I'd draw it into the fairway. So it was just interesting for me to watch and understand what I had when I started, how good I was with this club, with that old equipment and that old golf ball. So the things that we're talking about now with the M system, with this new technology, I mean, it's like cheating relative to be able to hit the ball solid and hit it in play. So again, it's fun for me to watch, brings back memories, also helps me understand how much control I actually had of a golf ball back in 1974 with that equipment.